Hello everyone, welcome to the Wisdom Minutes channel. Today, we'll be providing a detailed summary of the book of Exodus from the Old Testament of the Bible. Before we begin, I kindly ask for your like and subscription to the channel to help me create more content. I count on you, thank you. Let's get started. The book of Exodus, the second book of the Bible, narrates the story of the Israelites from their slavery in Egypt to their liberation and journey towards the Promised Land. The book consists of 40 chapters and can be divided into several main sections, each highlighting crucial events in the history of the people of Israel. Chapters 1 to 6, Slavery in Egypt and the Call of Moses. The book of Exodus begins with the narrative of the oppression of the Israelites in Egypt. After the death of Joseph, who had achieved great status in Egypt, a new Egyptian dynasty arises and enslaves the Israelites. Faced with this situation, God hears the cry of his people and chooses Moses to lead the liberation of the Israelites. Moses, initially reluctant due to his lack of confidence in his abilities, receives a divine commission through an experience with a burning bush, where God reveals his name as I Am. Moses is tasked with confronting Pharaoh and demanding the release of the Israelites. Chapters 7 to 12, the 10 Plagues and the Passover. Moses and his brother Aaron confront Pharaoh, asking him to release the Israelites, but Pharaoh repeatedly refuses, hardening his heart. As a result, God sends a series of plagues upon Egypt, each more severe than the last. The plagues include water turning into blood, an infestation of frogs, lice, flies, livestock disease, boils, hailstones, locusts, darkness, and finally, the death of the Egyptian firstborn during the Passover. Before the final plague, God instructs the Israelites to observe the first Passover, where each family must sacrifice an unblemished lamb and smear its blood on the doorposts of their homes so that the angel of death passes over them. The Israelites are instructed to eat the lamb with unleavened bread and bitter herbs, prepared for the imminent departure. Chapters 13 to 18, Departure from Egypt and Journey to Mount Sinai. After the final plague, Pharaoh finally allows the Israelites to depart. They leave Egypt hastily, taking their flocks and belongings with them. God guides the people during the day in the form of a pillar of cloud and at night in the form of a pillar of fire. However, Pharaoh changes his mind and pursues the Israelites with his army. God intervenes again, dividing the Red Sea to allow the Israelites passage and then drowning the Egyptians who pursue them. The Israelites continue their journey through the desert, eventually reaching Rephidim, where they face a shortage of water. God commands Moses to strike a rock, from which water gushes forth to quench the people's thirst. Meanwhile, the Amalekites attack the Israelites but are defeated when Moses keeps his hands raised in prayer. Chapters 19 to 24, the Covenant at Mount Sinai. The Israelites arrive at Mount Sinai, where they camp at the foot of the mountain. Moses ascends the mountain and receives the 10 Commandments from God, along with a series of laws and instructions on how to live in community and worship God. The 10 Commandments include instructions on worshiping God, treating parents, prohibiting murder, adultery, theft, false witness, and coveting. Moses descends from the mountain and communicates the commandments to the people, who agree to obey. Next, Moses receives more detailed instructions on the construction of the tabernacle, a mobile sanctuary where God will dwell among the people. Moses is also instructed to appoint Bezalel and Aholiab as master craftsmen to oversee the construction of the tabernacle and its furnishings. Chapters 25 to 31, Instructions for the tabernacle and worship. God provides detailed instructions to Moses on the construction of the tabernacle, including the sanctuary, the altar, the sacred furnishings, and the priestly garments. He also institutes the Levitical priesthood and establishes regulations for worship and sacrifices. Moses is called up to the mountain again, where he spends 40 days and 40 nights with God, receiving the stone tablets containing the 10 Commandments and other laws. Meanwhile, the Israelites grow impatient and ask Aaron to make a golden calf so they can worship it as a god. This results in God's anger, and Moses breaks the stone tablets as a sign of disapproval. God forgives the people, but there are consequences for their rebellion. Chapters 32 to 40, Renewal of the Covenant and Conclusion. Moses intercedes on behalf of the people before God, and the covenant is renewed. Moses then rewrites the tablets of the law, and the construction of the tabernacle is completed according to God's instructions. The glory of God fills the tabernacle, indicating His presence among the people. The 10 Commandments, also known as the 10 Commandments of the Law of God, are as follows. 1. You shall have no other gods before me. 2. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. 3. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. 4. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 5. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. 6. You shall not murder. 7. You shall not commit adultery. 8. You shall not steal. 9. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. 10. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male servant, or his female servant, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's. The book of Exodus ends with the cloud of God's presence covering the tabernacle, indicating that He is among His people. Moses cannot enter the tabernacle because the glory of God has filled it. However, the people of Israel continue their journey towards the promised land. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That way, I'll keep bringing more content like this. Thank you.